Your trauma is valid. Hello my nymphs and welcome back to Ingersill. My name is Michelle and today I am going to be talking about endogenic systems. Endogenic plurality is a catch-all term for non-traumagenic plurality, meaning the state of being more than one identity in a body in a way that was not caused by traumatic experiences. This is in contrast to traumagenic plurality, such as in dissociative identity disorder. The word endogenic comes from the prefix endo, meaning internal or within, combined with the suffix genic. Before the year 2014, stemming back from websites and communities going back to the 90s, anyone who claimed to have discovered themselves as naturally multiple were welcomed into the community. Some people refer to themselves as soul bonders, and others as people who personally fostered the mental and emotional connections with other people in their head. It was a word for systems to adopt if they didn't want to use more medical or contested terms. Some individuals view these systems as faking, appropriation, and role-playing. Although this is the true meaning of the word today, it was originally created for systems who felt that their plurality was due to a neurodivergence from a psychological cause other than DID or OSDD from some spiritual cause, with a friendly look towards tulpomancy and soul bonding. Essentially, it is inclusive of any or all systems who are plural but do not attribute their plurality to trauma. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky, I know how it is, and comment below how you feel about this situation. It is pretty frustrating for a lot of people. I can't even imagine for systems like, what? Like, if you don't have trauma, then get out of the trauma community. However, people will make the argument that, like, well, endogenic people aren't taking advantage of the resources of people with actual dissociative disorders. However, is that true? Are we like, is that true? Enjoy the video. This actually started a long time ago, back in Tumblr days. I remember the tail end of Tumblr days. I think I was like in 6th grade, around like 2012. 2012, yes. Based on the theory of structural dissociation, there is no evidence that you can be born multiple. The theory of structural dissociation works off of the assumption that no one is born as an integrated personality. Instead, infants operate based on loose connection of different ego states that handle their different needs, feelings, attachment to a caregiver, exploring the world around them, etc. Over time, these ego states naturally integrate into one coherent and cohesive personality, usually by the ages of 6 to 9. However, childhood trauma disrupts this process. Different ego states are left unable to merge with each other due to conflicting needs, traumatic memories, or learned action paths or responses to trauma. One coherent self cannot form when the primary caregiver of the child are inconsistent, loving one moment and abusive the next, preventing healthy attachment from occurring and instead facilitating disorganized attachment. Oftentimes, the unfortunate perfect recipe for dissociative disorders are given an abundance of love at first and then taking it all away. Vitally, this failure to integrate is not solely possible in children. Through the extreme disruption of self states that is found in dissociative identity disorder, or DID, can only occur before the self has fully integrated. Trauma that occurs after the integration of the self that occurs at a young age but doesn't require a full division of self can cause traumatic materials such as memories, perceptions, learned reactions, etc. to fail to integrate into an already existing or forming personality. If there is only one trauma, type of trauma, or series of connected traumas, it can result in one part of the personality remaining disconnected from the rest. If there are more traumas and more complex traumas, multiple parts of the self might remain unintegrated to serve as a storage for traumatic-related materials. When only one trauma-containing part or emotional part remains separate from the main personality, or apparently normal part, this is primary dissociation. When multiple
emotional parts remain separate from the apparently normal part, this is secondary structural dissociation. In the case of DID, where there are both multiple emotional parts and multiple apparently normal parts, this is tertiary structural dissociation. All children have an unintegrated sense of self and parts of their identity, but that in no way means that those identities are fully formed identities. For example, if cookie dough is not near the oven, it's never gonna be a cookie. That's a really stupid example. Please work with me. The alleged oven in question is unfortunately severe childhood trauma, in which case extreme dissociative disorders can be caused. In worst case, dissociative identity disorder or otherwise specified dissociative disorder 1B. These are times in which a person's identity will be fragmented into two or more distinct personality states. The personality states alternatively take control of the body as an individual. Some people describe this experience as a possession. The person also experiences memory loss that is too extensive to be explained by ordinary forgetfulness, along with many more symptoms. This is just a very basic rundown. DID is generalized to be a part of 0.01 and 1.5% of the population. These terms, short for DID or OSDD, reflects a failure to integrate various aspects of identity, memory, and consciousness into a single, multi-dimensional self. Sometimes there is a primary identity that carries the individual's given name and is passive, dependent, guilty, and depressed. However, when they are in control, each personality state or alter may have the experience of a distinct different history, self-image, and identity. The alter's characteristics, including name, reported age and gender, vocabulary, general knowledge, and predominant mood, contrast with those of the primary identity. The brain creates these individuals for a reason, which is to combat the traumatic situation. Plurality is trauma-based. Endogenic is only valid in two reasons. Number one, if your system was created through trauma, but you don't remember them because that's a part of the disorder, you have a horrible memory of especially traumatic events, in which case there's people in the system who are called trauma holders who are actually keeping that knowledge from you. The identity of an alter revolves around repetitive childhood trauma and the type of situation that was required for them to specifically exist. A butterfly alter might be because they literally want to fly away from the situation. An alter is created from dissociating to a severe extent, which is something that systems who are endogenic and have not experienced trauma do not experience in relation to OSDD or DID, because dissociation can come from other things such as neurodivergency or ADHD. You need to be prone to dissociation, and then the amnesia that is created is the reason for the alters, so that the individual or alter does not remember what happened. And then when the original quote-unquote, I know that's not like a term that's used as much anymore. A lot of people don't even have a quote-unquote original or core, but they come out in different circumstances, such as when you are triggered. Before endogenic was called endogenic, it was called natural multiplicity. These individuals actually lived harmoniously with traumagenic systems for a long time on the internet, since the 1990s, like I said. In 2014, there was the war of the endogenic and traumagenic systems, in which it was finally put into place that it is inappropriate to put other systems in the same category as those who have an actual clinical disorder.
I just saw a shadow and it was like a human. It looked like a human, but it was just my balloon. Anyway, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky, I know how it is, and comment below how you feel about this situation. It is pretty frustrating for a lot of people. I can't even imagine for systems like what? Like, if you don't have trauma, then get out of the trauma community. However, people will make the argument that, like, well, endogenic people aren't taking advantage of the resources of people with actual dissociative disorders. However, is that true? Are we like, is that true? Thank you so much for watching this video, and goodbye.